Hi, my name is Eileen Laskowski and I'm the Education and Programs Manager at the C.M. Russell Museum. I'm coming to you by video today from my home here in Great Falls, Montana. Typically this time of year, we would enjoy the opportunity of offering art classes and evening programs to our locals in the community. Unfortunately, because of the churn of events in our world, we've all been driven inward. At first, this can seem like a frustration. I know for me, it has taken a lot of time to transition into spending most of my days inside my home. However, when we flip the coin and look at the other side, a lot of times that other side is something good. When you think about it, historically, some of the creative people that we know and love have created some of their most historically significant and transitioning pieces of work in times of turmoil. I would argue to say that Charlie Russell was no different. In the winter of 1886 and 1887, it was perhaps one of the most desolate and cold winters that we have experienced in Montana to date. The winter of 1886 and 1887 all men will remember. It was the hardest winter the open range ever saw. An awful lot of cattle died. The cattle would go into the brush and hump up and die there. They wasn't rustlers. A horse will paw and get the grass, but a cow won't. Then the wolves fattened. They fattened on the cattle. Now I was living at the OH ranch that winter. There were several men there, and among them was Jesse Phelps, the owner of the OH. One night, Jesse Phelps had got a letter from Louis Kaufman, one of the biggest cattlemen in the country, who lived in Helena, and Louis wanted to know how the cattle was doing. And Jesse says to me, "I must write a letter to Louis and tell him how tough it is." I was sitting at the table with him and I said, "I'll make a sketch for you." So I made one. A small watercolor about the size of a postal card, and I said to Jesse, "Put that in your letter." He looked at it and he said, "Hell, he don't need no letter. This will be enough." This was an account of the winter of 1886 and 1887 that Charlie Russell dictated to a stenographer before he passed away. This particular account can be found on page, I believe, 45 of Dakota Prairie Memories by Bet Wolf Duncan. You can purchase it online, and that's where I've pulled the quote from today. I actually have a copy of it in my office that I used, but you can also find the book as well. The illustration that Charlie Russell created was called Waiting for a Chinook, or The Last of the 5,000. And it depicted a very skinny steer standing in deep, deep snow. The ribs on the steer were visible, and there were wolves coming around the steer waiting for it to die, presumably so they could eat it. As he describes in his brief paragraph, the wolves were very fat that winter. I actually have here a photocopy of Waiting for a Chinook. This is one, just a handout that I take around with me when I have tours in the museum that I like to show people. But you can see that there is the tiny cattle, the skinny cattle in the center. He's kind of hunched over. His ribs are showing, and then you see that the wolves are circling him. We ourselves are not in a very cold winter currently, like the winter of 1886 or 1887 that Charlie Russell found himself in, as well as many, many cattlemen at the time, in which they lost loads of herds of cattle and consequent finances from the investment of those herds. However, we've been also faced with a difficult time here. When we as human beings are faced by difficult times, that's often the times that cause us to be the most creative. And so I challenge you to look inward and to touch base with that creativity that I know you all have inside. Maybe it's a dance, maybe it's a drawing, Maybe it's painting, maybe it's singing, maybe it's writing. But I hope overall that you're inspired. You're inspired to tell the story of how you feel and tell that cattle rancher what's exactly going on. I really would love to see the artwork that you're creating at this time. And so if you take a picture of it and tag the CM Russell Museum on either Facebook or Instagram, we'll be sure to share it. Be sure, if you're under 18, that you ask your parents' permission and help in posting. I have with me. Are you helping me tell them about Charlie Russell? Yeah. Sandy has a drawing prompt for the kids out there. Hey, Sandy, do you have a drawing prompt for the kids out there? Sandy, come on, baby girl. What's your drawing prompt? Sandy asks if you would all please draw a picture of your pet and submit it. We'll be checking out our Facebook page and watching for your really neat artwork. I know I'll be watching personally. And so what we would really like to do is to have you tag us in one of your photos, and we will post it and share it with our media circle. So I look forward to seeing a picture of your pet, and I hope that you enjoy yourself in doing it. We'll talk later. Bye. I forgot to add one very important thing, and I am so sorry. I apologize. I realize that not all of us have pets. So maybe you have a pet that you really want to have. So maybe it's like a fire-breathing dragon that also has wings and barks like a dog. And maybe the dragon has tails, but I don't know, you might also just want a fish. So don't worry if you don't have a pet and you still want to do the drawing prompt. It's totally fine. Just make up a really cool pet, and then the rest of us will be jealous and wish we had that pet. And I don't know, Sandy, would you like to have a brother that is a dragon? Yeah, that'd be all right, huh? Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, take care. Sandy, say goodbye. She says goodbye.